Brian got some possible casting news for the Fantastic Four. I haven't heard it yet, so I have no idea who you're going to bring up. So
you haven't heard about? They talked about Josh Hartnett. That's
I have.
Dr. Doom, and they're saying that this is once the strike comes in, it's supposed to be a done deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the interesting. Yeah,
you know, I am all for that man's career resurgence.
Mm-hmm.
I am all for his career resurgence. I've always been a fan of his. He was known for having just the crappiest haircuts in Hollywood back in the late 90s. No, but I always liked him. You know, I thought the character of Zeke from The Faculty was just like the coolest dude.
Oh my god, The Faculty. Oh my
god.
That
and you know, he his career kind of I don't want to say it fizzled out, but he kind of went quiet in Hollywood for a while. Understandable, but then he's been kind of having this resurgence. You know, he was on the newest season of Black Mirror. He was in Operation Fortune, which I thought he was hilarious in, by the way.
Oh, was he? I didn't know he was in that.
Yep. He was in Oppenheimer. The dude's like aged. The dude's aged all of 5 minutes since the late 90s. So
most definitely.
Yeah, that is true.
He has that Paul Rudd disease. He looks exactly the same no matter what.
Yeah. I'd be for him as Doom. For a while I was saying
that's good casting. I think that's good casting for him.
Yeah, he'd make a good Victor Von Doom. He's got kind of that kind of subtle, kind of nuanced method of acting, which I think you kind of need for the character. I could see him as, you know, he could come off as kind of like as scheming and plotting and that sort of thing. I think that
he's good looking, right? But he's not as good looking as someone else could be. Like you can see him being passed over for stuff, you know, and feel like this should be me. I can see him being the this should be me guy, and I feel like that will work out with any star that you make. You know, Mr. Fantastic, who is a douchebag, by the way, who should be Reed Richards should always be a douchebag. Let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest. He always thinks he's better than he is, and he always wins. And terrible.
Well, yeah, you know, he acts like this. You know, he behaves like he's the smartest person in the room because technically he is the smartest person in the room. But he's that one that kind of lets it go to his head. But you know, there are
Victor Von Doom is close. He is close. He's always second. It's terrible.
Yeah, you know, I'm curious to see where they go with the character of Reed, because if I had my way, I'd kind of like him to be kind of like, you know, kind of like they characterized him in the brief Ultimate Fantastic Four run, where he was kind of a, you know, he was obviously still the smartest person in the room, but he kind of had almost like a kind of wondrous kind of man-child element to him. You know, he was more of a dreamer in the Ultimate Fantastic Four run, which I would kind of like for them to do, even though they kind of, you could say they kind of did it a little bit with Eoin Griffith, however you say his name in the original in the first two movies. So
I liked him as Mr. Fantastic. I always did. Everyone else was wrong.
Yeah, he wasn't the problem with that movie. I thought he just did what he could with the very limited writing they gave him. I thought he was great as Reed. I thought Chris Evans as Johnny Storm was pretty good too. Michael Chiklis made a pretty good thing. I wasn't really on and you know, Jessica Alba, unfortunately,
Jessica Alba should not have been. It was a miscast. You're gonna try to make her be white. What? Jessica Alba? She was just Honey like 2 weeks ago. No, you can't do that.
She was like the thing back when that movie came out. You know, Dark Angel was huge.
As I said, Honey. You know, when she was dancing and all that stuff. I mean, there's no reason that they should have done that.
No, that was the only reason they cast her. You said it, Tank, is because she was the it girl at the time. And I don't blame him for taking the role. It's it's a role in a
not her
potential
fault.
franchise. Who wouldn't take it? But
Yeah.
the way that they tried to of all the fantastical elements of those movies that they had, don't sit here and try to tell me that Chris Evans and Jessica Alba are blood relatives. Um, and
Even he
and they
by
even
out, what,
tried
6 months.
yeah, and they even tried to like white her up and make her with the
That's what I said. They give her blue context.
yeah,
They
those really,
tried to do it, but it's like you're still Jessica Alba. We know. We can look at you and you look a certain way. That's just come on, guys.
Yeah, stop playing with me.
You guys think about Fantastic Four coming out May 2nd of 2025. If that's the case, how do we still not have a casting?
It's
they're not right now. They're not announcing any.
Yeah.
I mean,
they could have. Do you think they had a casting, or is this something that
they might have been close? They might have been close. But now, see, part of me is like, maybe they can still deal with it, but that's not like a studio and the actor. It's a studio to the agent and manager. Then there's too many in betweens, and if any of that gets leaked, man, then that actor will be like blackballed in Hollywood. Like it almost happened with what's her name?
I think they're gonna push it back an entire year. I literally think
yeah.
Fantastic Four, everything's gonna push back a year.
Well, everything's like what is it? Daredevil suspended indefinitely. A bunch of stuff was suspended indefinitely. Because there's no.
Disney lost hundreds of millions of dollars in doing this. Warner Brothers did too.
Yep.
In filming, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yep.
I mean, Disney will get it back, but I mean, Warner Brothers will never see it again.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Fantastic Four casting is that sounds interesting, but it does tie directly into the strikes going on right now because we're not getting any of that news officially until it all is done.
Yeah, I think the latest I've heard. I'm sorry, not to cut you off, Tank. I think the latest I heard is they offered Adam Driver the role of Reed Richards a second time. And then the last I heard about Susan Storm was Vanessa Kirby, which I think would be a pretty good fit.
What I've heard is that they didn't accept it nor deny it.
Yeah.
So offers are still standing offers because you can't do anything as an actor.
Exactly. Yeah. And I heard the one guy from not Jeremy Allen White, but the other guy whose name's escaping me. I know he's currently on the Bear. Was being looked at. Yeah, was being looked at for Ben Grimm, which I'd be fine with.
Yeah.
I was hoping it would be Alan Richson, but beggars can't be choosers.
I mean, what's the point of getting somebody like that if you're just gonna like be covered in like CGI and
it makes no sense. Yeah,
they did in, Michael Bay's Ninja Turtles, and he fucking hated it. So and it went up sucking. It was like you don't get like a freaking monster person man with just like muscles everywhere, and we're gonna put you in a green turtle suit. It's like what? It's like why do I have a
what? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It was at least with Jack Reacher, he's able to like flex in every other scene.
Yeah, well, in the comics, Ben Grimm was traditionally like an Adonis of a dude.
Yeah.
So, I'd be curious to see if under the right people, if he'd be all for like a mocap role again. But reading up on his experience with TMNT kind of put a smile on my face just because I didn't like what Michael Bay did with TMNT, and it looks like he didn't either. So
no one did. Well, at least no one on set. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, everything kind of ties in together with the strike right now. But, when we get official news, we'll talk about it. But I'm guessing once the strike is over, we're gonna get a lot of news, just from this and from everything else. Because everything's gonna just kick back up, and it's gonna like just be a giant explosion of news and info and so much stuff going on. And when that does, we'll make sure to try to talk about as much of it as possible with you guys. But yeah, I don't know. If you're watching on replay, leave a comment. Let us know what do you think about who was it? Who'd you say? Was oh my god.
Who for Dr. Doom?
Dr. Doom.
Josh Hartnett.
Josh Hartnett. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. All I can keep thinking about is freaking Thad now.
I was like, I can't believe we talked about all that and they hadn't gotten back to that. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna let you guys go. Just go on your rant.
And you know, like another thing with
no
Thad,
more rant. No more rant. We're gonna talk about something else.
The other thing, I have to say this. I have to say it. Thad was the football star. Ben Grimm was like a football star too. I'm just saying.
Y'all, it's all connected.
Okay, we can move on to something else.
It'll be us like putting it all together. Like.
I gotta make that a meme with like Brandon put your face over him and with like Thad and all his roles and the Grimm.
Exactly.
It's all connected.
Oh, that's great.
All right. Yeah, let's move on. Let's